Yo guys, Theo here on Common Sense. Today I want to share my thoughts on Cole's recent new snack diet, the snack diet instead of the snake diet. It was funny, in one of the videos he went like, "I'm never doing OMAD again." You know, OMAD, 1 meal a day. And I'm like, yeah, I know you aren't, because I've heard you say that you're never eating 2 days back to back again, you know. 48's the day I die. I don't get how he screams like that, but I know he messes up his voice too, so maybe he just doesn't care about that. Anyway, you know, he has obviously changed his stance quite a bit. And that, first of all, I think that's great, actually. You know, a lot of people, they get known through a certain concept or a gimmick, and sometimes they feel like they have to hold on that and promote that over everything else to keep, you know, being relevant. And that's how you know that someone, you know, cares more about fame or money or whatever than actually helping people. That someone would be known for promoting something, like Cole has been with fasting and low eating frequency and OMAD and shit like that, and then dares to change their stance, knowing that they'll get a lot of backlash from it. That should tell you that this person doesn't give a fuck about that. You know, they give a fuck about giving the best advice they can, that they think will help the most people, you know. So that's actually great. But so what do I think about the snack diet? Well, my initial thought is that I don't like it, you know. I even have a video that I don't recall the name of it right now, but the point is, you know, no snacking ever, no snacking. I personally hate eating just little tiny meals like that. But okay, so what we have to realize is that we even have to think about these things. Should I do OMAD? Should I do keto? A snack diet? Should I be fasting? Like blah blah blah. You know, that we even have to come up with a way to lose the weight and stay lean. You know, we have to realize that we find ourselves in a fallen, corrupted state, right? Because naturally, human beings living under just in the right setting, they're not going to have to think about staying lean or losing weight. That's just gonna naturally happen, right? Do you think the cavemen were all fat because they didn't know about keto snacking or counting calories or whatever? And not even the caveman, by the way. You just go back to like a beach photo 50 years ago or something. There aren't nearly as many overweight people you see there. Was it because everyone back then was counting calories and doing a lot of cardio and snack diet and fasting? Or is it just that things have just become worse and worse with our sedentary lifestyle, the extreme availability of all these ultra-processed, hyper-palatable, highly addictive junk foods? Well, it's the latter, you know, because really, when you think about it, are we discussing snacking all fucking day versus OMAD, eating one huge meal a day? Isn't there something in the middle here? Well, it is, because we find ourselves in this corrupted state, right? Like, there's a reason, if I get a client, you know, say your average skinny fat dude, you know, I can't just put him on the same routine or regimen that I myself am on. And not only, of course, I'm an advanced athlete at this point, so it's also that just someone that isn't fit enough couldn't handle all of that. But even say that I try to make a regimen that's as close to mine as possible, but that they could theoretically handle, well, it's very likely that they're not going to be able to do all of that already, because they've been corrupted. They have the food addiction, they have the addiction to being lazy and not going to the gym. So you have to kind of find your way. Where I am right now, I feel like I am humans are naturally supposed to be, you know. Hunger, when I eat and if I eat, and it's just not a huge issue for me. Of course I experience hunger, but I don't go around obsessing about it. If I am hungry and I can't eat right then, it's like, okay, I'll do it later, you know. Or if I'm losing weight and I feel a little hungry, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna have to experience that. You know, it's not supposed to be such a huge deal. Just like you, if you never tried heroin, don't have withdrawals or you know, feel the need to take heroin. Yeah, compare that, the heroinists that took the heroin, they've been corrupted. You've been corrupted in the same way with all these things. So we have to come up with ways to be able to transition into this more natural state, right? So that's why for some people the OMAD just isn't going to work, right? They can, even when they eat just once in a day, they can overeat. They can eat, and then it doesn't matter that you're not eating for 23 hours per day. If you're still managing in that one meal to go above your maintenance calories, then that just doesn't work, you know. But for some people, it will work great. In fact, my whole thing with the OMAD is like, yeah, if you can just go get through most of the day with fasting, and then like 5 or something, have a big meal of let's say, you know, potatoes, some lean meat, and some veggies and fruit on the side. It's going to be difficult to overeat, you know. So for some people because another person, if they ate earlier, they'd be triggered and they started overeating earlier. So what I, you know, it gets a little messy here, but what I want to come to is we've been corrupted and we have to find our path back to the natural state that we're supposed to be in. It's going to be different for different people. So while I don't, so this, when we have the person that are healthy, where they should be, I feel like they shouldn't be snacking all day. It's not natural. I feel like human beings, I feel like OMAD is not really natural either, to eat exactly at the same time this huge meal always. But I feel like eating just less often than most people do, and eat quite a bit when you do it. That makes sense to me. And you know, that's how I do it. When my kind of maintenance routine is 3 meals, 8-hour eating window, you know. When I bulk, I might throw in the 4th meal here and there. When I cut, like I'm doing now, I remove 1 meal. Of those, basically, you know. I think that's, you know, almost all my clients I've had, I put on 2 to 3 meal routine, you know. Because it's a low eating frequency, and there's no fucking snacking. There's no... I want you to get rid of that, like I have to eat, but yeah, realizing, so, because I've not really thought about, you know, something like the snack diet, you know, and I realized Cole, with all his experience, it's something he has come up with that apparently works for some people, right? It's not for nothing, he just starts promoting this, right? And I realized, you know, for that person that gets, you know, that just loves being nice and full, what's that dance? Nice and full. Nice and full. But yeah, then maybe if that's what makes you able to eat less in a day, eating more often but tinier little pieces of food, you know, then well, that's great, good for you. And if the long fasts have been hard for you, but going into ketosis via this keto snack diet before, which makes fasting easier for most people, just being in ketosis already before entering the fast, well, that's great, you know. But then I feel like, you know, you shouldn't have to rely on either just eating once per day or snacking all day to stay lean. You should, again, you should end up in a state, the goal should be to end up in a state where you don't really have to think much about this, because you live an active lifestyle, you're physically active in general, you lift weights, you build muscle, that, you know, of course the workouts burn some energy, but you higher your resting metabolic rate, your energy expenditure just from gaining more muscle mass. You focus on fueling your body with healthy whole foods, you know, you don't eat just for pleasure, it tastes so good. When you're living this lifestyle, you don't really have to think about it, you know. Take me here, I'm trying, of course, to, you know, be, you know, extreme, basically. You know, most people aren't going to take things with their fitness to the level that I've done, and it's because it's my passion, my hobby, my interest, but also because I'm a coach, it's my job to do these things with other people, right? But if, let's say that I get just a little less ambitious, I don't care about a certain amount of leanness or whatever, I wouldn't really have to think about anything with a routine. I could just live my life and I'd look pretty jacked. Just now, you know, I want to take it, I have to actually, you know, force it a little bit to get extra lean, you know. But if I didn't care about that, about looking my best in the pictures on the Instagram and shit like that, you know, I wouldn't have to be like, oh, should I keto snack all day? Or should I do OMAD? Or should I do a weekly for 8-hour fast so I'm able to not get fat? You know, you're not, that's not how it's supposed to have to be, you know. So, okay, you can do this, you know. When I started with everything, with training, improve my diet, all that, and fasting not until like a year later or so, but you know, I did a 6 meals a day thing first. It was terrible for me. I'm so glad I found the fasting, yeah, you know, I had to rely on a lot. Like I made like I ate keto for a while too, actually. Just yeah, I get in a way the snack diet, you know. But I guess some meals were bigger than others, you know. But I had to rely a lot on things like, diet soda, making these like keto chocolate balls with some sweetener and like almond flour and shit, more protein bars that, in my opinion now, they're the only good thing about some of them contain some good protein, but it's just more bullshit in there, even in some actually, just chocolate bars or whatever. But I had to rely on some of these things to stay on track. But I don't think it's a good spot to be in if I still was like, yeah, the reason I can stay in shape, is because I always make these, artificially sweetened keto snacks or eat protein bars or a bunch of diet soda. It's not supposed to have to be that way, but therefore those were little tools that I had to use when I transitioned into a healthier lifestyle. So in conclusion, I love the fasting. I think most people should do some kind of intermittent fasting routine ultimately, but not OMAD. I wouldn't even recommend to most people. Like 3 meals per day, it's perfect. 8-hour eating window, 16-8. It's very uncomplicated, skip breakfast or have a late breakfast and stop eating after dinner. Boom, great. But if the OMAD works for you to get there, or if the keto snacking all day helps you get there, then I'm all for it. So that would be my opinion. It's a bit curious to me that Cole chooses to go keto for himself, because I enjoy so much the way I'm cutting. I have videos about how I'm cutting. It's going well, by the way. I finished another 64-hour fast yesterday. I would guess I even out at like 84 kilos after this now, because I weighed more naturally today with all the food in my gut. Yeah, I'm starting to be pretty happy. What I love is with having my every other week 64-hour fast is I don't have to track my food as much. I can eat a bunch of fucking carbs that fuel my workouts. I personally gas out much sooner without the carbs. So it's interesting that Cole would do that. But sometimes I don't know even if he would do that if he if he didn't want to promote it to like that kind of diet. If he would, let's say Cole is cutting in secret and isn't this weight loss YouTuber, then maybe he would have some carbs. I don't know. Just some final thoughts there. But if you want to know more about my cutting routine, I had put up videos about it. So just subscribe to the channel, go in, check the videos, like, leave a comment. What are your thoughts on all of this? And comment anyway. All likes and comments help support the channel, so I appreciate it a lot. So yeah, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you later, guys. Peace.